and welcome to a rare Saturday recording. For new viewers, that is the rubbish I've built up in a week, which Waltham Forest Council refuse to remove, on the grounds that I live in a flat. I'm housebound due to anxiety and autism because my neighbours threaten and bully me. Waltham Forest Council do nothing, and so I'm storing it in the flat in plain sight so that everyone on the internet can see how a disabled person in a flat gets treated by Waltham Forest Council in London. Not only do they falsify documents, not only do they refuse freedom of information requests, but they put a blanket ban on disabled people just for claiming the rights they're due under the law. I've emailed all the MPs now 3 times this week. I'm going to email them all again on Monday, along with as many journalists as I can find, including newsrooms, radio stations, television news, everywhere. And I will be doing a video just for the newsrooms. I managed to eat something last night. I've got no appetite, but I bought pizza and garlic bread and forced that down. So, apart from the time I'll be on the laptop trying to find journalist emails, creating a new distribution list, then I'll be in the bedroom to keep myself and my cat safe. Admittedly, parliamentary protocol does stop MPs outside my own constituency doing anything about my area, but then I've had personal letters from Imran Khan, Priti Patel, and I've even had a postal letter from the MP for Workington this morning. But due to parliamentary protocol, there's nothing they can do. They forwarded all the copies on to Ian Duncan Smith, who still has not contacted me, and he won't explain why. And like I keep saying, because of my autism, he needs to apologise. Everyone that is connected with me, Waltham Forest Council, my local councillors and my MP, will need to apologise in writing, explain why they have ignored me for a year now, explain what they are going to do to prevent the miscommunication again, and then do something. So this is only going to be a short update because I've got work to do now. I need to find journalists. I've got one, but sorry Victoria, but you don't seem to believe, or you don't seem to think I'm newsworthy. So I'm going to have to try every journalist to see if they think that I'm newsworthy. News desks, personal emails, everyone is going on to my Outlook, and I'll be doing a major distribution on Monday, hoping that someone will step in and someone will at least arrange for my safety in my own flat and arrange a permanent waste removal system for someone that's housebound. Even my GP doesn't believe I'm housebound. Handsworth Medical Practice in Hyams Park wrote to me saying, if you are genuinely housebound, how is that to be taken? A consultant from Queen's Hospital contacts him several times, saying she's had to call me because I'm a housebound, and he doesn't even believe the consultant. I've complained to the CCG, NHS England, the practice manager. None of them have done anything. I've had various emails from MPs about the private phone number usage, and they all point me into the direction of the Information Commissioner. But sadly, I spoke to the Information Commissioner before, and they've got no control over that. It's up to each individual department. So I would like an answer to the question, why do public organisations have private numbers? When after the 2010 Equality Act, they should have instantly started putting non-private numbers out. Because the Act has disablement as a protected right. And anxiety is a form of disability. And a lot of people get anxious about private calls. Whether their doctor knows they've got anxiety or not, a lot of people, has anyone done a study on this? A lot of people they answer private calls, but they don't like answering private calls. Because like I said, on several occasions now, a private phone call is like someone coming to your door wearing a mask. A full face mask, so you can't see who it is. I wouldn't answer the door. So why should I have to answer a phone to an anonymous person? What are they trying to hide? And most phone systems now are GUI based, and changing the system, IT can do it quite easily, or it can be remoted into to change. Quite honestly, there should be there is a law. It's called the Equality Act 2010. And although it doesn't mention telephone systems per se, surely it would be best practice for all public organisations to advertise a number. And a number which they put on, genuinely, I think it should be the main switchboard number. Barking and Dagenham Council, for instance, advertise an old disused number. I don't see the point in that. So really, all public organisations should advertise at least the main switchboard number when they call you. So at least you have a chance of knowing which organisation called you. But to be totally frank, I believe each department, housing, rents, finance, should have their own DDI, like it used to be. So each department has its own number advertised when they call out, so you know which department. We don't need DDIs direct to each person, just to the department, to save people wasting time on menus. If we leave a menu, for instance, on the main switchboard number, or if we leave a message, and that message goes to housing, well then housing should advertise their number when they call you back, so at least you've got an idea of which department called you. We shouldn't have to go through this rigmarole all the time of calling the switchboard and they don't know because anyone could have called you, and then you sit there wondering who called you. In public bodies, all departments, all sections should have their own DDI, and that DDI should be advertised separately when they call you, so you know at least which department or which section called you. I've worked in IT. I've set up phone systems. I know it isn't complicated. And I know what I'm saying is possible. So when doctors and MPs and councillors and people in the council bullshit me by saying, oh well, we can't do it, it's our phone system, but refuse to tell you what phone system they have so you can cross-check it, like Waltham Forest Council have done, like Barking and Dagenham Council did. It's not a top secret government institution, it's a phone system. There's not that many types of phone system in this country. 4 or 5? Most of the phone systems are resellers to the other big phone systems. So there's not many different phone systems in this country. There's a lot of resellers, but there's not a lot of different systems. So if we knew what phone system they were on, if I knew what phone system they were on, I could look up that phone system, see what the configuration is like, and tell them. I mean, IT know how to do this. Each IT section know how to do this. But I know it's only a matter of looking the right phone system up and contacting the manufacturer, and they can tell you how to advertise a DDI for each department. Put your finger out, comply with the law. Don't do what Waltham Forest Council have done and tell me that I need to instruct a solicitor. If the law is the law, I shouldn't need to instruct a solicitor for a public organisation. You should already be following and complying with the law. Disability law, housing law, all sorts of legislation you're supposed to be complying with. But you're not. Waltham Forest Council have, for a year now, at least a year now, blocked my access to the council without giving due explanation. They have refused to answer freedom of information requests without due explanation. They have told me without explaining things for several years now, and I've had to write back asking for an explanation, which they have refused to give because they don't see, Waltham Forest Council do not see, that I'm entitled to an explanation for their decisions. By law, all public bodies are supposed to explain, and not just give you a decision, they're supposed to explain the decision, where they get that decision from. I have for over 6 months now complained that Waltham Forest Council are racist. 3 days ago, I put another complaint in because the first one wasn't actually recorded as a crime by the police. I've put another one in 3 days ago. No one's come round. So I've put a complaint in against the police. No one's contacted me. And I need to work out how to word a freedom of information request against the police to find out how long it normally takes, depending on your skin colour, to log a racial hate crime. Because I swear blind, if I was not white, it would have been dealt with more promptly. And I swear blind, if I put the same freedom of information request into Waltham Forest Council, they won't be able to give me that information. Really? There's no tally between when a racial discrimination claim is put in and the ethnicity of the person claiming it, and when it's first actioned. I'll do it anyway. In a moment, I'll sit down and try and word it with the police and Waltham Forest Council, and I'll give you an update in the week. But until then, I've got email addresses to find and store for Monday, so I can do one more big email. I'm sorry to all the MPs, because I know their hands are tied. But quite honestly, I've had no communication with Ian Duncan Smith since I've been in this flat for 3 years now. I've had no direct communication with my own MP. I don't expect direct communication with my MP all the time, but when you get stuff like refusal to remove rubbish from a flat and putting my health at risk and making me suicidal, I expect my MP to contact me. Not one of his office staff. I expect my MP to contact me. I also expect to be news. I don't want the infamy, the celebrity of newsworthiness, but I do expect the journalist to sit up and actually do something. I've tried contacting journalists last year, but no one replied. So I'm going to have to find as many email addresses as I can and email everyone. And I mean as many as I can find. And we'll see if someone sits up and does something. because I am not the only one being treated like this. I can guarantee this. There's not... In fact, there are quite a lot of autistic people out there without any support. And the councils generally offload onto your friends, your family, you know, the police. They offload an awful lot of work to the police. And it's not fair. The council have a duty of care. They they do understand this, but they ignore it. Councils have a duty of care for their tenants. They're social landlords, meaning they are a key figure in society which they're duty bound to take care of. And taking care of someone does not mean turning round to them and saying, if you don't like it, Mr. Gibbons, instruct a solicitor. Social care should mean caring for the people in society. Not telling them, well, we'll give you the rights if you instruct a solicitor. Until then, we're not going to do anything, Mr. Gibbons. So, by Monday or Tuesday, that will be a lot bigger. And it's got cat litter in as well. The living room is turning into a no-go zone now. So I'm paying rent, but not actually able to use all my flat. Thank you, Waltham Forest Council. The Chief Executive, Martin Easom, treats me like a fool. He will not talk to me. And everyone I've had Junad on the phone from housing, the housing manager. Well, why should Martin talk to you? He's a public servant, and if things are going wrong, he's obliged to talk to members of the public. It doesn't matter how high up the tree you are, you're not protected from talking to the public. And if someone says people are taking the piss and they're not obeying the law, I would expect the Chief Executive, like the Deputy Chief Executive, Lindsay someone, a year and a half ago, actually did. But when Lindsay left, that's when it all started falling apart. Because when the Deputy Chief Executive left, they didn't replace her. There's no Deputy Chief Executive in Waltham Forest Council. Yet, if you look it up on London Council's website and the Waltham Forest website, Lindsay's still there. They haven't updated any of the record. And yet she isn't there. She left about a year ago now. So, I'm going to finish this one now and get on with looking for journalists. Thank you for watching.